Yeah, this one doesn't really have you'll see where it goes. Um Man, so I've been getting really into science recently,
Okay.
and I think that I don't know, I've just been reading a lot of stuff, stuff like molecular geometry and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just think it's really interesting. And I always found, a lot of people,
Molecular geometry.
yeah, molecular geometry.
You see like hexagons in
No, it's
molecules?
the three-dimensional arrangement of atoms that constitute a
Oh, yeah.
molecule.
Of course. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you not know about it?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll give you the gist in a second. But I just think that a lot of I just think that like a lot of people seem to think they're like really smart about a subject or about something or whatever, or just in general. They're just like, I'm so smart. And then like, you talk about some random stuff or you talk about something and they're like, oh, I have no idea. It's like you read something that you don't know anything about, and that's the quickest way to like realize, oh wow, I don't know a lot. And I think we live in an age where everybody thinks they do know a lot. So would you like to learn
So you're
a
saying
little bit
people-
about my research into molecular geometry?
I would. Can I just
Yeah.
clarify what you said here? So, what you're saying is that if we read more as a society, then we will realize that we are dumber than we think,
I think that people,
and therefore be smarter because we're reading.
I think
more.
that people tend to surround themselves with the information they already know, or with the subject that they already really understand, which is fine and makes sense. Like that's how you're going to pursue work and stuff. But I think that most people don't pursue knowledge outside of their comfortable wheelhouse, right? So like if you're an English guy, right? Oh, my English, you're not going to go out and do a lot of math, right? And if you're a geographer,
Right.
like you're in the bottom class of society, right?
Right.
So
But
I think a lot of times people
like
don't go
the-
outside of their intellectual comfort zone. And then when they do, I think a lot of the
Okay.
times they get a little spooked because they think that, oh, like maybe I'm just not intelligent. Like that's their, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
the people are kind of scared of.
but that could also be a lot to do because of the emergence of the internet. Like we
No, I
don't
think
really
the
have control
emergence-
over the algorithms.
But
and
the
stuff,
emergence of the internet lets you go and research whatever you want, right? Like the algorithms and stuff, that's mainly social media and specific websites. I guess Google does that too. But if you look up cool science stuff and you're not a scientist, you're going to find cool science stuff, right?
Right? Mm-hmm.
So what aspect of molecular geometry would you like to learn about?
Well, give me the base.
Would you like to learn about bonding perhaps, or bonding's pretty important?
Sure. Bonding, yeah.
Okay, so molecules by definition,
You're just reading a Wikipedia article right now.
what? I can't
You're just
read.
reading.
They're most often
reading the
held together
Wikipedia
with covalent bonds. You know what a covalent bond is, right? Covalent bond's a chemical bond. It involves
Dude,
like sharing
I literally, you
electron
shared your
pairs and
screen
stuff like
earlier,
that.
and there was a Wikipedia page. You shared your screen before we started recording, and there was a Wikipedia page of, I'm pretty sure, molecular geometry.
It wasn't, man. No, it
I'm
wasn't,
pretty
Doug.
certain there was.
Do you want to learn about bonding or not?
Man, my hands smell like Subway.
Start.
that was weird.
You're just eating lunch. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, back to the beginning. Molecules, by definition, are often held together by covalent bonds. As we discussed, covalent bonds are the like it's a chemical bond that involves the sharing of electrons between pairs of atoms,
Right.
involving single, double, and or triple bonds, where a bond is a shared pair of electrons. The other method
No
of
way.
bonding between atoms is called ionic bonding. Blah blah blah. We don't really care about that.
Right.
Molecular geometry, however,
Molecular geometry.
can,
Yeah, right.
can be specified.
It can be specified in terms of bond lengths, bond angles, and torsional.
Yeah, you're really good at copying my my mouth with your words there.
Well, what's next?
Well, molecular
next?
geometry
What's
influences
next?
several
The
properties
bond
of a
length is
substance.
defined to be
What are
the
you
average.
talking about? several properties
Sorry,
of
no,
a
go ahead.
substance, including its reactivity, polarity, phase of matter, color, magnetism,
Oh.
and biological activity. Yeah. But you know what? I
That
just
was
think
weird.
at the end of the day, you know, like if you're ever faced with a guy who's like a bit of a, you know, a bit of a
A know-it-all?
smart butt, a bit of a know-it-all.
Okay.
One of the easiest ways to get around that is be like, yeah, well, how do
Mhm.
magnets work? Hey, 9 times, I will
Like
bet
just
you
show them up.
9.9 times out of 10, because there's gonna be somebody, right? If you just
Mhm.
ask, how do magnets work? People be like, well, it's a
But
north
what
and
if-
south pole.
What if that person listens to this podcast and then they decide to read about that, and then when you try to show them up with like, well, do you even know what magnets are? And then they like go off and they just start saying all the shit.
They won't remember it.
Then
I
what?
guarantee you. Especially with the
But
amount
they
of
listen to the
geographers that
podcast.
listen to the show.
Ugh.
They're not gonna remember how a magnet works.
Man, I'm starting a new hashtag actually, cancel geography 2022.
Nice.
So if
Nice.
you guys want to hop on that,
Hop on that.
you
Share
know,
any
just post that.
share any stories
it.
about geographers that may have made your life a little worse, or like should
Yeah,
like
just
go to like a park, and if you see a guy with like binoculars looking at the ground, be like, I found a geographer
Yeah.
again. Oh yeah, what
Just really
groundbreaking
dump
research
on
is
them.
that?
no, it's good stuff.
But no, what I mean is like we've all learned about magnets. Okay, like you learn about magnets in like grade 2,
Mhm.
but you know you grow up and you kind of forget the intricacies of these things, right? Like you'll be like, oh well, you know the magnets stick to things. I put them on the fridge, right? But you don't actually
Right.
know about like the dipoles and like all of the deep meaning behind how they work. So I think that it is the perfect thing to stump somebody on who's really a big know-it-all, because it's like, yeah, okay, like, sure, you think you're smart, whatever, but there's always something you don't know. And that's why I think everybody should say, hey, I'm dumb. You know what I mean? I think they should just not say they're overly smart, because there's always someone who's going to be smarter than you. There's always someone who's going to know more, and there's always going to be a subject that you don't know anything about, right? Identify your strengths.
What if you're the guy? What if you become the guy? Like it's the same thing as being like, I'm never going to be the richest guy in the world. But then what if you're Jeff Bezos? Then what?
Yeah, there's only one guy that's the richest guy in the world, so it's a pretty safe bet to say that you're not going to be the richest person in the world. And you know what?
But that I'm saying that could go for something else.
Yeah, but
though.
this
like,
is
if
like,
you're
but
like,
this
oh,
is like
I'm the
saying,
smartest
but
guy
this is
in
like saying like
geometrics.
my philosophy is to say, you know, like, you know, there's always somebody smarter. I'm not the smartest guy out there. I try my best. Yeah, we're all dumb.
Underachieve.
That's what I'd like to say. Not underachieve, but
B+.
undervalue. Undervalue yourself, because then you can surprise yourself sometimes, right?
So if you undervalue,
get the A, but realize that there's something you'll get a D in. You know what I mean?
or a C.
Hey, Colin, I found a new word.
What's the word?
And your mother too.
Yeah, I guess I'll just bleep that. Facebook. We have Facebook and Instagram as well as TikTok. You should check us out over there and for more content. Bye.